So earlier in this year, I posted a video about my period medication being cruelly withheld and the way in which that was done by the doctor's surgery. They have gone on to pull the same trick, but having after all managed to prescribe it for several months, to prescribe all my medications for several months, and apparently all the seriousness of reviewing it instantly went away, and they were perfectly happy to just carry on dishing it out. But surprise, surprise, it was the 24th of December that I was due to have my medication given out, as it were, and the delay occurred again. And basically what happened is the chemist put in the request a day early, and it all got queried, and there's a lot of nonsense involved. But basically they have left me again with, this time it's without any of the the prescribed medications, but there are only two of them that I really need urgently, because one of them is very overprescribed and one of them is like, well, yeah, I've got plenty of that one as well. But yeah, so without going into it, but basically the tranexamic acid and the Imodium are the two that are a particular problem that I depend on them for, but particularly the the tranexamic acid. It's absolutely crucial that I get that prescription, and I relied upon getting it, and obviously now it's Christmas, and it also turns out that the practice manager who was actually helping in my case, Tracy, she seems to have suddenly left, as it were, so that's why I couldn't get through on her direct line. And it does appear that as soon as anybody is helpful, they are got rid of, made unable to do the job. So yeah, but basically what has happened is that effectively I've been left in the lurch again. I'm heavily bleeding and I'm worrying about where the next pills are coming from, and they know how difficult it is for me to actually have these appointments, and instead of working towards it, which is what I was talking about with Tracy, but I suddenly became unable to get hold of her, and they just, the direct line, they just allowed all the, I don't know how long she hasn't been there for, but they just allowed all the messages to pile up. How unprofessional. And it doesn't even say anything specific. It's like it's a private number when you ring it, effectively, because it just says the person is, is not available. It doesn't even say anything, any sort of professional message. But the main thing is this direct line that she gave me, not a private, a direct line, so that I could actually get through without navigating their long, like, message and queuing system where they make you queue even if there's nobody else waiting. Literally, you're first in the queue, but surprise, surprise, they're still not answering. So yeah. Anyway, as I said, Tracy was really helpful, and she was trying to work through it with me, but she seemed to disappear. Well, she seems to be gone now, and they've turned nasty again, and I've been left without the medication. And obviously now 25th of December, and yeah, so that's what's happened. I've been left in the lurch, and This is kind of further to my other video because I was left suddenly without medication previously, and I was given to understand at that time that I would not be given it anymore. And now I don't know what's happening, and it is actually all my medications as well. And yeah, so I mean the antihistamines, they prescribe them as though I'm taking them every day, and I'm not, and they won't revoke that. So they prescribe too many basically, which is kind of ridiculous because some of them they underprescribe, some of them they overprescribe. And when it was like the pandemic and things, and they couldn't cope, they just wanted to make sure you had enough of everything. But before that, I used to put in a request for what I actually needed. But once they went their own way on it, they just know you just have these everyone. They say I take them every day. I'm not going to take anything every day that I don't need to take every day because that's just, it's not good. You don't want more of these medicines in your system than you have to have. So yeah, and originally I was supposed to be taking them as and when, and they gradually sort of they change what it says on the instructions, and you suddenly realise it's a completely different deal to you agreed to. But yeah, the tranexamic acid, I don't know what way they're going with it, but the the heavy periods that I have that often go on for most of the month at the moment. Yeah, so the one thing that helps medication wise with that is the tranexamic acid, and to be honest, not a lot overall does help. So it's just been so cruel, and I don't know where to go from here, but this is just making some sort of record of what has gone on, and obviously happy Christmas, as it were. And I'll try to make the best of it and get through, but I shouldn't be scraping around for pills on Christmas Day, and I'm not quite sure what else is going to be done to me. And I mean, right up to the very end, and even making with Vivid Housing as well, they just carried on. Uh, Email yesterday, hassle, 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 and I've had like the doctors and they're all hassling somebody that they know that it's not easy to get in, and they're all access, 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 as though they haven't already had access like that many times, and I'm recovering from it. But it's very very difficult, and it's difficult to go into it all, and it's difficult to just not make myself sound ridiculous, and I'm sure it does sound ridiculous. I'm sure it doesn't actually quite make sense because I'm not explaining it that well. I think on the last video, period medication cruelly denied, I think that probably I explained it better than this. And this is more just I'm rambling, but it's a worry, it really is.